All right, everybody, welcome. It is day 12 of the 28-day Get Hired Challenge. I'm Alyssa Miller, and today we are talking about one of my favorite topics, core skills. We're talking about how you take those skills that you learned in your previous jobs that don't seem like they're cybersecurity related at all, and how you apply them to your cybersecurity job search. So here we go. All right, everybody, welcome to day 12 of the 28-day Get Hired Challenge. I'm Alyssa Miller. We are talking core skills today. So when people are trying to get into cybersecurity, a lot of times they're trying to land that first job and they're looking at it and they're saying, boy, I don't have any, and none of my skills or none of my capabilities apply to cybersecurity. Now, yesterday I asked each of you to get in there and to make an inventory of your capabilities and to label each of them as knowledge, skill, or experience. Today we're talking about how you take those ones that I challenged you to include, the ones that weren't cybersecurity related. Remember that? We're going to talk about how you apply those when it comes to searching for a cybersecurity role. Because there is this thing that we call core skills. I refer to it sometimes as core transferable skills. Why does that transferable word matter? Because these are those skills and oftentimes experience that transcend any industry. And so what if I told you, this is one of my favorite metaphors for this, and it's based on a true story, but what if I told you that someone who has worked only as a barista at a coffee shop for their entire career has skills that apply to cybersecurity? Would you believe me? Well, I'm going to prove it to you because that's what we're going to operate from. I'm going to use some examples. If you saw my TEDx talk, I talked about this a little bit. I've given a few talks in other spaces at DEF CON and a few others on this topic. So definitely go look those up if you want to get into more detail than the 10 to 15 minutes we've got to spend here today. But let's look at it. Here's what I want you to do. If you did the homework from yesterday and you went and you made that capabilities matrix, you're already ahead of the game. If not, pause here, and I want you to think about your current job. And I'm assuming it's not cybersecurity. If it is, well, then this is a little different story, but maybe pick your previous job or the last job that you had before you got into cybersecurity. But pick a job that's not cybersecurity related that you've held or are currently in. And I want you to list out just a few capabilities if you haven't already done your capabilities matrix. Grab a few of those and we're going to talk through how you turn those into core skills. So, what we're going to try to do ultimately is we're going to take however you worded out those capabilities that you have. We want to look at those and we want to remove every bit of wording that's industry specific. So we want to discuss them in terms that apply across any job. So that ultimately, if you were to hand that list, the list that we're going to end up with, if you were to hand that to a perfect stranger and say, what job was this? They might have a guess, but they're not going to be able to tell for sure what job you're talking about, because you've now expressed it in terms of skills that could apply in a lot of different jobs. And this is how you're going to bring those skill sets that you learned maybe as a barista to a cybersecurity role. So I'm going to take the barista. We're going to take that particular example, and we're going to say that that is the person that's applying for a role in a security operations center, a SOC. Okay? So here's how we do it. Think about what a barista does. Think about if you're at, your local coffee shop. What is that barista doing all day? They're taking orders, right? They're taking orders, and then they're making coffee, or they're making some coffee-related drink, maybe a latte, cappuccino, whatever. Okay? And then they're serving that up, and they're going to serve that to you. Okay, great. That doesn't seem like it's cybersecurity related at all. But what if I break that down? And I start to break it down in a sense that the terminology I use doesn't apply to working in a coffee shop at all. So let's start with, they begin by processing multiple inputs, right? They're gathering inputs probably from multiple sources, maybe an order that has multiple things on it or multiple orders. They have to process those inputs. That's what that is. At its core basic value, that is what they are doing. Then they have to take those inputs and they have to translate those, right? So they know that, okay, you've ordered this. I now have to, execute these tasks based on my knowledge of the recipes for those drinks. Here's how I do that. So I translate those multiple inputs into specific tasks, right? That's what a barista is doing. Now, because they're getting these multiple inputs and they know they've got these various tasks that they have to complete, they have to prioritize those to execute them not only in the correct order, but they also want to execute them in the way that's going to be the most efficient. If they're swamped with a bunch of different orders, they want to be able to operate through those in the most efficient way possible. So they're prioritizing their tasks for efficient completion. They're planning then and executing those tasks. And at the same time, they also have to plan and execute maintenance activities. What do I mean by that? Well, in the barista sense, those maintenance activities could be that they have to refill the milk, or they've got to refill, the coffee grinder, or whatever it is. Maybe they got to clean up some stuff. They got to clean the I don't even know what you call the metal pitcher that they steam the milk in, right? All of those things, they got to keep doing that. They may have to go back in the back room and get more supplies. All of that has to be prioritized. And then all of this with a constant focus on efficient delivery to the customer. So think about that for a minute. Think about that terminology I just used. I talked about processing multiple inputs, translating them into tasks, then prioritizing those tasks, then prioritizing them and executing on them, while also taking care of maintenance activities, and all with a focus on efficient delivery. That is exactly what I want a SOC analyst to be doing. They're getting multiple inputs coming from different systems. Maybe it's the SIM, maybe it's other alerting systems that they're watching. I need them to look at those, and I want them to translate, hey, this alert means I have to do these tasks. And from those tasks, I'm going to have to prioritize them, so I do them in the correct order, and I do them in the most efficient way possible because they're coming at me from a lot of places. And yeah, while I'm doing that, I might have to be doing other maintenance activities. It might be things like writing reports or sending emails or whatever it is that I have to do. And of course, all of this is with that eye on efficient response. Do you see now how I have taken skills that seem to have nothing to do with cybersecurity and I have turned them into core transferable skills? Things that you can put on your resume that will apply to the cybersecurity jobs that you want to be applying to. And so this is really, really an important concept. This is one of those things I think for a lot of folks searching for that first cybersecurity role, it's very daunting because you look at the work that you've done. Maybe you were an electrician, maybe you were a pilot, I don't know, whatever it was that you were doing before. And you oftentimes feel like you just don't have any actual demonstrated experience that applies to cybersecurity. if you can break down your capabilities into these core skills and then speak to the experience that you have around those core skills, that is valuable. That is something you can use to start to make yourself stand out. And we're going to talk more as we get into how you optimize your resume, how you can do this. But that's where you can begin. So that's your homework now. I know I started giving you homework. Can you believe it? What is this girl doing? But it's important. These are the things that are going to help you get a job. So your homework tonight is to take that capabilities matrix. If you didn't make it yet, go do it. If you have to rewatch yesterday's, if you missed yesterday, go back and watch day 11. But I want you to make that capabilities matrix of all of those capabilities you have from all your different jobs and take the ones that don't seem to apply to cybersecurity, turn them into core skills, and now look at the experience level you have and how those might apply to different roles in cybersecurity. I hope that's helpful for you. Here's what I'd like you to do, because I'm giving away a free book every day, and I'm selecting them at random from the comments below. So I need you to comment below. I want you to tell me one capability, non-cybersecurity capability you identified that you have and what core skill that translates into. Just one. That's all I need to see. If you want to give me more, great. We'd love to hear all of them. I love reading about this stuff. But give me one. I will pick at random one of those comments who will win a free book. And just a reminder, all throughout this month, hi, let's try that again. There we go. All this month, Manning is offering you 35% off all of their titles on their website. All you gotta do is go to Manning.com, enter that discount code, or you can get there easier just by going to that short link right there that you see, or easier still, scan the QR code. I promise it's safe. Of course it's safe, because I want you to keep coming back. If I sent you to a Rickroll, you wouldn't come back each day. I want you here every day for the 28 days of this challenge, because I am trying to help you get hired in cybersecurity. We'll see you tomorrow for day 13. Take care.